Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Linus Nati TV on YouTube. My name is Linus Nati. Kindly subscribe to the channel, like, share, and then put your comments under it. We are still here in La Côte d'Ivoire, where we'll be giving you up-to-date exclusives and from the ongoing 2023 AFCON. This morning, I have with me a senior colleague, a sports journalist, and then a sports historian by the name Awal Mohammed. Awal, good to have you.
Yo, thanks, my brother.
How are you doing?
Yo, I'm doing good. By God's grace.
Great, great, we thank God. Few days in Ivory Coast, how have you seen the whole atmosphere here?
Well, I think I love the atmosphere. The Ivorians are very, very hospitable. They are so friendly. They are easygoing. When you get to talk with them, I think they are people who always like to give you a helping hand in everything that you want to ask. Unless maybe the language barrier that oftentimes tends to be a problem. But all in all, it's been a wonderful time being here in Ivory Coast.
Great, great, great. Let's look at our previous game. We lost 2-1 against Ivory Coast. I mean, it wasn't a result that every Ghanaian expected. And looking at the caliber of Ghana, nobody expected us to lose against La Côte d'Ivoire. Your general impression about that game?
Well, it was a game that we all went with a huge confidence that we thought we were going to win the game. And I think there were some mistakes that came on board, especially. Let me talk about number one, the starting lineup that Coach Kusitin went into the game. And I think there were some couple of plays that I think they shouldn't have started. Typical example is Ransford Yeboah Konex-Doffa, who has not had any experience when it comes to playing in the AFCON. And I think he decided to throw him into the game in a huge game like this, especially which is an all-important first game in the competition that we needed the 3 points so badly. So apart from that, there were some bit of mistakes when it comes to the substitutions.
We lost 2-1 against Cape Verde. I mean,
Yeah.
a result that nobody expected. Every Ghanaian is not happy, both here and then far away in Ghana as well. I mean, what were some of the loopholes and then reactions you took from that?
Well, I think it was a game that a lot of Ghanaians went in with a lot of confidence, thinking that we're going to have a very good show in that game against Cape Verde. And I think this was the second time that we met them during the AFCON. I think we met during the 2013 AFCON when we beat them 2-1, 2-0, yeah, rather. Courtesy Mubarak Wakasu. So we thought we were going to run right over the Cape Verdeans. But there were some packets of mistakes that I saw in the game. Number one, I talked about the fact that Coach Kusitin had a poor approach into the game. I was wondering what approach did he went into the game, thinking of the results that he really wanted. Number two, the setup or how he lined up his men on the field of play. There were some selections that a lot of people thought that it shouldn't have come on. For example, Ransford Yeboah, who is not an experienced player when it comes to playing the AFCON. This was his first attempt when it comes to making it into the AFCON. So I could probably say this is the debut. So I thought there could have been a different person starting ahead of Ransford Yeboah Konex-Doffa. And I think a lot of people thought that he's been set up by Coach Chris Hughton because he couldn't give us anything at all. Besides that, there were some loopholes, or I might say, a very huge gap between our midfield and an attack. Besides that, we couldn't press the Cape Verdeans very well, high up front, and then they were having a field day at the back line. So they're able to possess the ball from the back and transit from the midfield into the attack. These were the things that we were lacking. These were the things that we were lacking. And apart from that, the substitutions of Chris Hughton also changed the game entirely. At a point in time when Antoine Semenyo was warming himself into the game, that was the point that the coach Chris Hughton decided to change it. So it completely backtracked our attacking lineup and it completely changed the entire game. And that was one of the things that I think that I could say that it affected us. Yes, a lot of people will get to say that we scored a goal that was disallowed. It was a VR decision that had to review the decision to take a look at it, whether it's a goal or not. But let's give the benefit of the doubt to the referee. There were some cases that there were also some penalty calls, a typical example of Joseph Pencil, but the referee didn't give us that call. And then goalkeeper Richard Ofori also made a mistake. The first goal, I thought he should have punted it side to the different side, but he pointed the game and the ball just came in front of the Cape Verdean player and he slaughtered the game. And also the last minute mistake that we did and the Cape Verdeans punished us to win by 2-1.
I mean, if clearly, if you look at that game, our back line was just lacking a lot, and on goalkeeper Richard Ofori, even though yes, he did committed some few blunders, but I think he also came back very strong in the second half.
Honestly,
He saved a couple of chances for us. I mean, after that specific game, when we went to the post-match, Coach Chris Hughton did accept that yes, we considered 2 poor defensive goals. But here again, he stated that, I mean, his substitutions didn't cause the defeat. Do you accept to that assertion made by Coach Chris Hughton?
Well, his substitutions maybe couldn't cause the defeat, but it impacted into the game because I thought Majid Ashmeru should have lasted the entire 10 minutes of the game because we were playing a narrow midfield, a single pivot of Baba Idrisu. So Majid Ashmeru was the one who was supposed to link the midfield in the attack by just coming down, dropping down to get the ball and transmit and then transition from midfield into an attack. But he decided to substitute him and bring on board Abdul Samed Salis. What the change meant was that we were going to protect our backline, meaning we are going to have double pivots. So it means you are short-changing your attack. You are bringing on defensive midfielder for an attacking midfielder, meaning you are not ready to move forward. Besides that, Jordan Ayew kept too much time on the field of play, and I think he should have been substituted earlier on. We needed Usman Bukari's space on the field of play, but he did not do that. Usman Bukari came on board just around 5 or 6 minutes to the end of the game. And Antoine Semenyo, at that point in time, when he was warming himself into the game, that was the critical point of Coach Chris Hughton's substitutions. And I think that was one of the things that really affected us in that game against the Cape Verdeans.
I mean, our big game against Egypt comes on today, 8 p.m. We are just hoping and pray that, I mean, he makes few amendments to the team that lost 2-1 against Cape Verde in our first game. Now back to the game against Egypt. Yesterday, myself and you were at the training grounds of the Egyptian national team. Yeah. We saw how aggressive and then how serious they were towards that game. I mean, clearly they won't leave any stone unturned. You were there as well with the Black Stars of Ghana. I mean, you watched 2 teams train. What are you expecting from the side of Ghana, and what are you expecting from the side of the Egyptians as well?
Well, I think games like this is very, very tough. So what you need to do is you need to limit committing of mistakes. In these games, maybe few chances could be coming. So when our front line or some of our players who get that glaring goal scoring opportunities, we need to get it right. If you bungle those chances, maybe your opponent can get it and then punish you. Egypt will look forward to limiting their mistakes. They gave the Mozambicans a good opportunities for them to score, and that was the reason why at a point in time the Egyptians were faltering. They were very lucky to come on board with Mohamed Salah's late penalty that he was able to equalize and make it 2-2. You remember the pre-match presser yesterday, the captain, the goalkeeper of the Egyptian national team, Mohamed El Shanawi, said they want to enter into a game like a final because they want to make sure that they qualify to the next stage. And this game is very, very important. If the Egyptians fail to win this game, what it means is that they also limit or they are going to jeopardize their chances of going to the next stage of the competition. Mind you, the last 3 editions of the AFCON, the Egyptians have been in 2 of the finals, 2017 and then 2021. So what this means is in this competition, they are going for nothing but the trophy. And that's the reason why Coach Will Victoria has get a lot of pressure back home when he drew 2-2 in that game against Mozambique. So the Egyptians will be expecting a lot. So they will come in a full force. What it means is that you'll be expecting to see Mohamed Salah, Mohamed Mustafa, Mohamed El Neni. All these guys are the experienced players within the Egyptian setup. Not forgetting Omar Marmoush, who is also with Eintracht Frankfurt in the German Bundesliga. So what we need to look forward is we should make sure that we press high upfield. I don't know who Coach Chris Hughton is going to give the opportunity to be the man up front. But Ahmed Egazi is going up almost 34, 35. So it's not quite pacey. So you need to press him high up in the field. Besides that, I don't know whether it's going to be Hani Ramzi, Mohamed Hani, or Rami Rabea, or Mohamed Abdel Munim is going to partner Ahmed Egazi, or maybe Ali Gaber. So if it's going to be Ahmed Egazi and Ali Gaber, all these guys are grown-up persons. So you need to get pacey guys who need to press them. Besides that, we need to have pacey guys on the wings. That's the reason why I want to see Osman Bukari or Enes Nyama, one of them starting in this game.
Great, great.
And we need to have a lot of creativity. So, Mohamed Kudus, since yesterday, you and I were there at the training grounds and we saw Mohamed Kudus training. The coach talked about the fact that he will be assessed, and I'm pretty sure and I'm very, very confident that Mohamed Kudus can get the opportunity to play tonight in that game against the Pharaohs of Egypt. So, we need to have a creative spark within our setup. But mind you, the Egyptians will be very, very cautious of today. And they have a very fantastic goalkeeper. Mohamed El Shanawi doesn't need any introduction on the continent. If you are going to talk about one of the top-notch goalkeepers among the national teams that are being paraded on the continent, talk about Onana, Edouard Mendy. The next person that you can talk of is Mohamed El Shanawi. And then Yassine Bono also, not forgetting him, the goalkeeper of Morocco. So they have one of the top-notch goalkeepers. The Egyptians will be leaving no stone unturned. They will be coming let me tell you, Linus, we must expect fire in today's game. The Egyptians will never want to commit any mistake to jeopardize their chances of making it into the next stage of the competition.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Let's look at our team prior to this game, our setup. I mean, Kudus Mohamed is likely to be given an opportunity. I mean, when we get Kudus Mohamed in the heart of midfield, it means that yes, then we are up to something. We are up for the 3 maximum points. Would you risk Mohamed Kudus in the setup, or you would allow him to start from the bench? Looking at how it's quite not predictable if he's fully fit. Even though yes, we saw him yesterday train with the entire team yesterday train, but Coach Pesuti said at the presser yesterday that they are still assessing him. That is yesterday and then today as well to give the final verdict. Would you risk Kudus Mohamed in this very game?
Well, I think I would have preferred Mohamed Kudus starting in the game, because we need to get all our Arsenals on the field of play. Mind you, Chris Hughton, under his tutelage, the Black Stars of Ghana have scored only 1 goal in the first half. And nobody gave us this statistic apart from the star man himself, Mohamed Kudus. So we need to have him. We need to have that creativity in the first half. Make sure we get to score so that we unsettle the Egyptians. Go into the second half, then we can look into the game, check about those lapses and those mistakes that we might have committed, and make those corrections by making good substitutions to counter what the Egyptians are going to bring aboard in tonight's game.
Very good. Let's look at our setup. I mean, from the back, from the goalkeeping area, we saw Richie Dufresne, who was the skipper of the side. I mean, yes, he did commit some few errors in the first half, but he came back stronger in the second half, and then he did saved it on a couple of occasions. If you look at our left back, Gideon Mensah was hugely bashed by Ghanaians due to his performance. I mean, he's coming up against Mohamed Salah of Liverpool. I mean, what do you expect Gideon Mensah to do?
That's where the problem is. I was talking about this morning. I was just having a talk with a Nigerian friend. He was just asking me about the probable lineup that I want to see within the game tonight. Honestly, if not that, we are not sure of who should be at the right back. I would have wanted to see Ali Dusedi being deployed at the left back, just to make sure we keep a tab on Mo Salah. Gideon would like to move forward, and if he is going to move forward, what it means is we need to play 3 back, so there should be security for Gideon Mensah to afford him the opportunity to move forward. But if you are going to go with Ali Dusedi, probably we can deploy a 4 back and make sure that we cut the left full back. For that one, Ali Dusedi could be assured of the man that who will not move forward. So Dennis Ode could be moving forward. If you are going to go with 4 back, I expect Dennis Ode on the right, Ali Dusedi on the left. Or we go with 3 back and then wing backs. 3 back of Mohamed Salisu, Daniel Amati, and Alexander Jiku. Amati on the right, Jiku in the middle, and then Mohamed Salisu at the left center back. So Gideon Mensah could be deployed as the left wing back, and then Ali Dusedi as the right wing back. So what it means is, whenever we are attacked, we are sure of 5 guys who are going to join at the back line to make sure that we overshadow or overload the Egyptians at the back line.
Let's look at our midfield. I mean, Coach Chris Hughton is known for the double pivot. We didn't see that in the first game. Do you think he's going to deploy that in the heart of midfield? And then who's going to be that progressor in front of these 2 double pivots?
Yeah, I think Mohamed Majid Ashimeru could be starting, but I'm not sure whether he's going to go with double pivots or but with these Egyptians, they are always sure of their midfield 3. Mohamed El Neni, And then oftentimes you see Amir El Sulaya, but nowadays there is a certain Marwan Atia or Ahmed Hassan Koka. So the Egyptian coach Rui Vitoria they can decide to deploy any of these three guys. But I think in the last game against Mozambique, he also played a double pivot in Mohamed El Neni and Hassan Koka. Then he deployed this guy, Said Ahmed Zizou of Zamalek, just in front of them, and he spread his front three. That is Hassan Trezeguet, Mohamed Mustafa, and Mo Salah. So probably I don't know whether the Egyptian coach Rui Vitoria is going with this lineup, but let's expect to see that. I am also expecting a change within the lineup. I am also expecting a change within the Egyptian lineup because they also want to come with the different ideas. They know the importance of this game and they are aware of the opponent that they are facing.
Very good. I mean, if our midfield doesn't really gel or doesn't get that progression that we need, I mean, we need to use our flanks, and then we have one of the quick wingers in the tournament. You talk of Enes Nuyama, you talk of Joseph Pentland, so you talk of Osman Bukari. Who do you think should be given the nod ahead of this game?
I think it depends on how we are going to match up with the Egyptians. I will have prefer a Semenyo, and then Osman Bukari attack with Kudus and then Majida Shimeru, then with a single pivot of Samed Abdul Salis. What it means is we are going to have two offensive midfielders who can transit the ball from the midfield to the attack so quickly. One thing is also we need to make sure our transition is very quick. We don't need to be to stand on the ball. Just 1, 2, 3, quick 3 passes. Then we are out front. But I don't know. It depends on the coach. Probably he might want to deploy Jordan Ayew starting in the lab because he wants to get someone who can make the dribbles and then get some set pieces. But oftentimes our problem is if we get the set pieces, how often do we utilize those set pieces? We had some couple of free kicks in that game against Cape Verde, but all of them went waste. With the exception of only Alexander Jiku's corner kick that was taken, he was able to equalize for us to level the scores on a 1-1 scoreline at that point in time.
Quick one on this: a 4-3-1, a 4-2-2, a 4-3-3 for you.
I would have preferred a 5-3-2 formation. I would have preferred a 5-3-2.
So we go with the wing backs.
Yeah, the three backs. Yeah, we have Mohamed Salisu, Daniel Amate, and then Alexander Jiku. So with Gideon Mensah, Ali Dusedu. So I was having a narrow midfield of Abel Samuel Salis just sitting in front of the back. And so what it means is we have 6 men at the back line. So 2 offensive midfielders, which happens to be Majid Ashmeru and Mohamed Kudus. And then Osman Bukari and Enes Nuyama leading the attack.
Great. The entire tournament in general, I mean, we've seen some minors causing a huge upset for some of the nations as well. If you look at Nigeria, they drew their first game against Equatorial Guinea. If you look at Namibia as well, they won 3-0. I mean, quite a lot of surprises. What do you have to say about these minors? And do you think that they might progress past the group stages, or the top guns will start sprinkling up after the group stages?
Well, I think the Minos have done a very good job. But oftentimes, the surprises usually come in the first round of games. So getting to the last round of games, by that time you see that those big nations will be rising up. And I'm assuring you, none of the Minos can win the competition. It's been your usual suspects who will be winning the competition. Yes, we had Namibia tuning Tunisia. We had Cape Verde beating the Black Stars of Ghana. We had Mozambique giving the Egyptians a good run for their money. We also Equatorial Guinea and Nigeria. And I think these are the few stories that you can tell. But we saw Mali beating South Africa. We saw Morocco beating Tanzania yesterday. And we had Senegal also beating Gambia. So in as much as some of the Minos are doing well, some of the other big guns are also showing their shots. They are showing what they are capable of doing. But going forward, after the second round of games, you will see the big guys springing up, tending to show what they are capable of doing. They will show that they are the real landlords of the competition. And yes, the Minos are honestly doing well, of which I need to commend them. Not to take anything from them. Honestly, the Minos have done the yeoman's job, especially during the first round of games, as the second round of games are beginning today.
Finally, before we leave, your predictions for this game?
I'm pretty sure we are not losing the game today. I'm very sure that we are not losing the game. In as much as I might be talking about the fact that we have a coach who is not inspiring, who is not giving us a lot of confidence, but one thing that I'm drawing a lot of inspiration from is that you've seen that in the entire 23 appearances that we've had with the Black Stars at the AFCON, we've lost on match day 2 on only 2 occasions. That is 1984 in Ivory Coast here when we lost 2-0 against Algeria, and then in Burkina Faso 1998. With the exception of these two games, Ghana find it opponents find it very difficult to beat Ghana in match day 2. This is where I draw my inspiration that I see that the Egyptians, we are going to give them a very good run for their money. Yesterday I heard DDIU and the entire Black Stars players had I think some hours of meeting trying to discuss what went wrong and then their determination going into the second game. And I'm really sure the players themselves do what is ahead of them tonight as we face Egypt. So they want to give their all shots and they want to show what they are capable of doing. And I'm very, very sure that they will not disappoint the Ghanaians tonight.
Thank you very much, Awal.
Thank you.
For having me.
Thanks.
This is Linus Nati TV on YouTube. We just had a very short discussion with a senior colleague journalist as well, sports historian with Kesben FC, Awal Mohammed. Kindly subscribe to the channel, like, share, and then put your comments, and we will still continue to give you live updates from Ivory Coast here in the ongoing 2023 AFCON and then other sports content as well. Bye bye.